This conference will now be recorded.
I think today we need to start the business process procedure one, right? The first business procedure we need to start, right? So, am I correct? Business process procedure again, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us the first business process procedure one. So, what exactly this is actually basic cycle, which is also called as a standard procurement process or P2P process here. Okay. So, in basic cycle or P2P process or standard procurement process. So for each and every business process project, so we need to prepare our instant master data. Now we okay, so we are comfortable with like already we gone to the org data and also the basic master data also we completed. And you have idea about transaction data also. What is the transaction data? What is item category for stock purpose? What is account estimate category? Again, okay, so now once we'll complete the business process project, the same day you need to practice. Okay, day to day we'll discuss each and every business process project. Today, so we'll start the business process, the step one again. Okay, so what are the steps here? The steps are the first one. We'll write all the steps here. The first step actually, so we'll create a purchase requisition. In real time, the purchase requisition in any industry will give you authorization or permission for all the user departments. Okay, for all the users, they can able to create. So create a PR. You'll mention which material, so how much quantity, for which plant, and, for which store location, all the details they'll mention. Okay, so the create a PR in front, so the user will mention all these details, which date they require and all. So once the purchase requisition is created, it will go to the purchase department. So these purchase department people, okay, now means it will go to the purchase department. Okay, so once they will enter, so what actually next step here? Suppose now, so it will reach the purchase department. As we discussed yesterday, it is an internal purchase document. Internal purchase document means which will not reveal to the vendor here. Okay, so if you know the vendor directly, the purchasing department people, they will the buyer. If you know the vendor directly, you will create a PO, or else what you will do, you will create a RFQ in ME41 transaction code in ME41 with reference to PR here. With reference to PR, so this will go to different vendors here, like vendor one, vendor two, vendor three, and so on. Different vendors. Once we'll go to the different vendors, we'll reach the vendors. At the time of RFQ, we'll give the quotation deadline. So when they are going to dispatch and all. Okay, so once we receive the quotation details from the different vendors, so we need to maintain the quotations here. So we need to maintain the quotations here. This caps lock is not working. So maintain the quotations here. ME 47 transaction code. ME 47 transaction code. So what exactly you will identify the quotation details? So the vendor will dispatch it. Okay, some vendors will say some price, so other vendor will say some other price, and when they are going to dispatch the stock, so how much they are going to give us, so what is the discount they are giving. So different details will receive. So it's actually quotation details. So vendor to vendor it will be different. So all the details I need to mention in my system. Okay. If I come to here, fourth one, what is the fourth one here? So we need to compare the quotations here. We need to compare the quotations here. ME 49 transitions here. So when you compare the quotations ME 49, so you will get the best vendor. Okay. You will get the best vendor or best quotation. Okay. But as per only price here. So yesterday we discussed here when you are going to compare. Okay. So the vendor will give us a give me a second. Hello. Yes. On and Okay. So here, once we'll compare the quotations in ME49 transaction code. So the compare the quotations in ME49. So we'll get the best quotation as per the price here. So which vendor is giving the least price, the best quotation. This everybody knows here. Okay. But apart from the price, we have some other parameters also we need to consider. However, the user will take the final decision, but we can violate here. So instead of sometimes the delivery date is most important, sometimes the quantity is also most important. So there are remaining parameters like quantity, quality. Okay. So discount, there are the different parameters. Okay. So next, the fifth one. So we need to create a purchase order here. The purchase order is a legal document. Okay. ME21 transaction code. So actually the purchase order is a legal document, is the highest document for us. So all the data will be integrated in purchase order. Okay, so which will go to the vendor. Once the purchase order will go to the vendors. Okay, so the vendor will dispatch the stock. But purchase order in going forward, I will show you in different ways with reference to PR, so with reference to purchase order ME21 and only correct. You entered correct one purchase order. Purchase order in ME21 and only correct information. Okay, so with reference to RFQ. Okay, so here, so once the PO will go to the vendors. So whenever the vendors dispatch, so here once we'll receive the stock from the physically from the vendors, so we need to enter the goods receipt. Enter the goods receipt in Migo. So this Migo is the NJ transaction. Migo is the NJ transaction. Okay. So why we are calling it NJ transaction? Because before older versions for goods receipts and goods issues for stock transfers, there are a number of transactions is there like MB1A, MB1B. Still we are using, but Migo we can perform all the inventory transactions. But it's most important as a consultant, the results of the goods movement. So what are the changes is happening of the once we post the goods movement, we need to observe the results of the goods movements. We'll say here. So I will show you in the system. So what are the changes is happening? So now inventory management. So every business cycle is divided into procurement or purchasing part, next inventory. Finally, the seventh step. So along with the goods, the vendor will give us the invoice copy. So we need to prepare the invoice in MIRO. Okay. To prepare the invoice in MIRO. So as per this invoice. Okay. So whenever the receiving, so in our SAP system, so we need to prepare the invoice. This invoice information will go to our finance department and they will clear the liabilities to the vendors here. The finance people will directly they will pay. But actually, what we observed here, the steps actually all the steps will perform together. We'll complete the first business process figures here. Okay, the first business process was the basic cycle or P2P process or standard procurement process. But each and every business process, so we need to prepare our own master data. At least I will create one material. Okay, and I will create a. So I have some couple of vendors will be there. So I'll show you how to create the vendors actually. Vendor 1, vendor 2, so vendor 3, so 3 vendors. Okay. Now let me go to log on pad here. Okay, now the timing, how to create a material. So for time being, I'm creating new material. So go to some raw material, any material type here. Okay, just I'm creating a new material in MM01. So enter the material, random store location. Test material and some basic of mother PC and some material group. So enter some purchasing group here. In the valuation class, some price. Okay. So 1596 here. The material we created 1596. So in real time, you don't need to prepare because already master is available. Okay. Straight away we need to run the scenario. 1596 material I created. So after creating this material, so already I have vendors. So 1000 vendors is there in my system, and 5210 vendors is also there in my system. And the vendor 3 is also vendor 3. What is the vendor here? The vendor 3, let me show you once again. I'll show you how to create the vendor. One more vendor will create. Okay, 2 vendors is there. So let me create one more vendor in XK0. Vendor master is actually the master data. 2 departments are responsible, purchasing as well as the accounting department. enter the account group here. You know how to create a vendor. So, the test vendor here. Test vendor global 2. Test vendor. So basement of measure. So reconciliation account. So you got hands on all these master data, right? Enter. Currency. Enter. So we create a new vendor. My vendor is 20080. Okay. My another vendor is XK03 20080. My third one is 20080. So I have a material and I have a vendor. The 3 vendors is there. Now let us run the scenario. Step 1. What is the step 1 here? I need to create a purchase requisition. What is the transaction code? ME51N. So ME51. So every purchase document divided into 3 types here. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So here now this is the purchase requisition screen. Okay. So every purchase document contains 3 areas: header. Actually in PO we have a couple of fields will be there. In PR we have only one field. And item. Once you enter the item details will be open. So in real time we'll go with multiple materials, but in training system I'm going to only one material, 1596 here. Okay. Enter the material code is 1596 here. How much quantity? 100 pieces. For which plant? 1000 tons. For which store location? 3000 stores. Okay, the user need to mention. So yesterday we discussed item category and account assignment category. Account assignment category for consumption, item category for stock purpose here. If I have not selected anything means stock purpose here. I am procuring in standard way. Okay, and mention the material. So means if I have not mentioned, so I am procuring stock purpose here. Enter the material, how much number of quantity for which plant and which store location, who is the buyer group, so all these details. Well, once I will mention, so automatically item details will be open. Okay, item details will be open. In item details, if you will go to again material data tab, it will be interlinked here. If I change it here, also it will be changed. Okay, so and go to quantity. So how much I am requesting? 100 pieces, but still I have not converted. If I converted, order quantity will be updated. In future, if I receive any quantity, total quantity, the open quantity will be 0. If I receive partial quantity, the open quantity will be minus. Okay. In future, you don't require, you can close here. So this actually plant derivative process. So here the data is integrated from all the metal masters, so it will update it here. Valuation, from where this valuation price is updating from your metal master here, 100 euros here. Okay. So and invoice, we are not getting free of cost, right? That's what invoice will be there. So what is the total PR value here? Account assignment, as of now, it is not required because we are not procuring for the consumption purpose. So account assignment not required. Source of supply also, it is one of the important here. If you click on assign source of supply, okay. So this assign source of supply, okay. Okay, assign source of supply here. 1 minute.
హలో
Akhil,
సార్
అది ఓకే అమ్మా ట్యూషన్
సరిపోతుందా సార్
సరిపోతుంది ట్యూషన్
ఓకే సార్
ఓకే రైట్ okay. So if you click on assign source of supply, so if any vendors there, it will update it and go to status tab. The status tab means suppose I am the end user, okay, so I don't have table access or field access. Okay, so now today I created, and after some time or tomorrow I want to check my PR status, whether my PR is created or RFQ PO, the user can able to check the status. So unfortunately if I created, but due to any reason, so I want to block, so block with the requester. and why you created and why you are blocking this PR. So you need to enter the meaningful text here. So each and every tab you need to go here. Okay, day to day you need to update here. So go to contact person. In contact person, okay. So here what you need to understand here for contact person here. So here, so in real time, suppose this is my user ID, but the same user ID, based on user ID we need to pay here. So in SAP, so here suppose in a particular client some user ID is using by multiple users, okay, more than one user. So which user is creating? So you need to enter request number, and I can enter his own tracking number. And text here, what? So we have header text and item text here. Always keep in your mind. So in header level, what are the? So if I mention any text in header, so in real time, generally not only one material, line item one. So when you're writing notes, so I will write 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. This line item 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. So if we go to system, okay. So here now I have a couple of materials I'm procuring. Okay. So if all the materials relevant text, if I mentioned here, I need to mention header level here. Or else in item text is applicable for only. Not only this item is applicable for only particular line item. So this is applicable for only this line item. If I mention, if my PR contains only one material is okay. If it is multiple materials, so all the material relevant text I need to mention. Whereas particular line item here I need to mention the text here. So text means suppose, so whatever the means the material relevant specifications, the user, so the material relevant any information you can able to enter this text tab. And what is the delivery address? The delivery address is the plant address here. While you are creating, you have given the plant, right? So where the material need to dispatch here is the plant address. So finally, once you enter all the data, you need to click on message driven check. Simply you need to click on save here. Okay. Now I created a PO. So what is my PO number? 1001365. So this is my PR number, purchase requisition number here. Okay, you can write down all this purchase requisition details will be stored in EBON table. Okay. All the purchase requisition details will be stored in EBON table. What is the table? EBON, EBA. So go to AC16. In AC16, so EBAN. You know the tables, right? Organization data tables, you know. Master data tables, you know. Okay. So metal master and also. So what is the table here for PR? EBON. The purchase requisition details will be stored in EBON table here. Okay. If I enter this, if you enter the purchase requisition number, if I enter this purchase requisition, immediately it will show you, okay, on which date we created this purchase requisition, who is created, so what is the document type, what is the document category. These are all most important tables here. Okay, so all the purchase requisition details will be stored in EBON table here. Okay. So after this purchase requisition, now let us see. Now what is the next step? It will go to the purchasing department. Suppose I don't know the vendor here, so I want to convert into request for quotation. So where I need to go? I need to go to ME41. So next step here, we are step into the second step here. Okay, go to ME41. So we are creating RFQ in ME41 with reference to PR here. So creating RFQ in ME41 with reference to PR. So what is my PR details? Vendor 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let us already 3 vendors I created. 2 vendors and 3 vendors is there. So I need to create a RFQ here, ME41. So now please go and create RFQ ME41. So please you can write a note here. The RFQ can be created in 3 ways. With reference to PR also you can create RFQ. With reference to outline agreements also you can create RFQ, or without any reference also. In 3 ways we can able to create RFQ: with reference to PR, with reference to outline agreement, or without any reference here. See, yesterday we discussed for all the transaction data, document type plays a vital role here. Okay, it's a key role here. See, RFQ type. So again we have customization classes there. For RFQ, A is standard document types here. Okay, the standard document type here. Okay, already it is selected here. Language English here. RFQ date actually 29 here. Okay, so quotation deadline actually I want to give some 2-3 days here, but actually meanwhile here now again I will come to the RFQ. So go to ME52N here. Okay, ME52N were what? Change the purchase requisition. This remains same here. For all the transaction data, actually the delivery date is tomorrow itself we required here. But we are performing standard procurement, right? I will do some delivery date change. Okay, so here suppose now the user is required the material on 15th October here. 15th October example. Okay, so 15th October user. So ME52 and change ME53. The user is required. So more 16 days time is there. Now I am creating ME41. So quotation deadline, I'm giving some 1 day or 2 days here. Okay. So whenever you are creating RFQ, so we need to give the quotation deadline. Okay. So here within 2 days, or you can say within. So just I'm giving on or before some 3 to 4 days. I'm giving the time to all the vendors. They need to prepare the quotation. They need to submit to the company. Okay. Quotation deadline is a mandatory field. But I'm creating with reference to PR, right? So click on reference to PR. The system will pick the latest PR number here. The system will pick the latest PR number. You can observe the latest PR number, and if we click on continue, so automatically, what is the SAP viewer? Latest material number, latest vendor number, latest PR number. So system will pick the latest PR number. Okay. So which buyer group is involving? Enter the particular buyer group. Okay. Now, please observe the screen. What is this collective number here? The collective number is not SAP specific here. The user, suppose I am the user, my day-to-day duties, I am going to create RFQs or PRs. I can enter my collective, any numeric number. Is own reference number here. Okay, it's not SAP specific. Enter the collective number. Okay, so again, if you click on continue, you'll get this screen. Okay, so in this PR, I mentioned only one line item. Suppose this PR of 5 line items is there. So all the 5 line items, it will be displayed here. Line item 1, line item 2, like this here. Simply, I need to select this line item and I need to click on other place details. I need to click on other place details. If I click on other place details, okay. So what is the quotation deadline here? 4th year. The delivery date will be the 15th year. So what is the delivery date? 15th. Quotation deadline is 15th year. Okay. So quotation deadline is 4th year. On or before 4th, but delivery date is 15th year. Okay. Enter. Now, okay, no problem. Again, you click on continue. Now, after reaching the screen. So after reaching the screen, okay, now 10-15 minutes కాల్ చేస్తాను, ఒక 15-20 అన్న నమస్తే అన్న, ఒక 15-20 minutes కాల్ చేస్తాను, సెషన్ ఉన్నా. So here delivery date, okay, so here we have given. So after reaching the screen, select this line item and click on vendor address here. Click on vendor address here. So we need to click on vendor address. So this postcode you need to enter here. So click on vendor address. Now after reaching the screen, so I need to forward multiple vendors. Vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. Okay, right. So here what are the vendors actually we have taken? But actually in SAP we no need to create 3 times. So same RFP screen, one by one vendor you can forward. Let us say first I will enter 1000 vendor here. First I will forward 1000 vendor. Go and enter your vendor code here, 1000 vendor here. If I mention this vendor language in DE, German text here, we are not able to understand. So we need to convert English here. I select here. So automatically this vendor language will be converted in English here. Automatically this vendor language will be converted into English. You need to click on save. So when you click, so automatically RFQ is created. So under the number 60020, this is my RFQ number here. Okay, 60020. But RFQ is the external purchase document. I will show you how it will transmit. Whether some vendors in printout we need to forward, some vendors in fax, some vendors in mail. So it's an external purchase document. So I need to forward another vendor here. So the same screen I need to enter. What is my other vendor? 5210 vendor. My other vendor is 5210. So now next the same RFP I'm going to forward different vendors here. 5210. This vendor language is also German. So I want to convert English. So click on continue. So now if you click on save, this is my another vendor 60021. This vendor RFP is 60021 here. Right. So now third vendor. What is my third vendor here? My third vendor is actually 200080. 200080. This is my another vendor here. Today we created this one. Okay. Now come to here. Enter this vendor here. So this test vendor today we created it. If you click on save, so now 60022. So 3 RFPs generated. Like this, you can forward a number of vendors. Now simply I'll close this screen. So I've created means I have forwarded these 3 RFPs here. So where exactly this RFQ details? For all the purchasing documents. PR details we observed EBAN. So what are the external purchasing documents? RFQ is external purchasing document. External purchasing document. If you go to SE6, now let me go to ME 43. Okay. In ME43, you can observe this 6 all zeros 22 here. Okay, 6 all zeros 22 here. Now simply go to SE16, go to EKPO. What is EKPO? Please try to understand. EKPO, actually the RFQ item details. Okay, so RF means, sorry, not RFQ. External purchase documents item details will be stored in EKPO. Means RFQ item details will be stored in EKPO table. So this is the table. So you can see this is which material and all. So EKPO, okay, RFQ item details will be stored in EKPO table, and header details will be stored in EKKO table. EKKO. EKKO for header details and EKPO item details. What is EKKO? Header details. Is most important here. If you enter this purchase document number, so which company code is, who is created and all. Header details always, not only RFQ, all the purchasing documents header details will be, please write down. So all the external purchasing documents header details will be stored in EKKO, item details will be stored in EKPO. Okay. Right. So now let us see. Now what are the second step is also done here. So now we need to step into the third step here. So what is the third step here? We need to maintain the quotations. Actually, when we are able to maintain the quotations here, so whenever suppose I forward the quotation to the different vendors, once the vendor will give the quotation to us, so how much price they are giving us and what is the discount they are giving us, then I can maintain the quotations. So before that, actually, now I am the end user, so I will show you how the data is updated here. Simply go to ME53N. What is ME53N? Display of the purchase requisition. So if I go to ME53N, latest PR number will come. Simply I'll go to status tab. If I go to status tab here, the user can able to observe the RFQ is created. Okay, now user, okay, the end user will observe, okay, my against my PR, I created a PR, but purchasing department they converted into RFQ. So 6 all zeros 20. This is the way data is updated, interlinked to one screen to another screen. Okay, and also if you go to quantity tab, still my PR is not ordered here. So this purchase order is not created. So this is the way you can observe the details. Okay, right. So now assume that we received quotations, means details from the vendor to vendor. Okay, now let us, what is the next year? So now, however, it is on same training system, but in real time, assume that you received the quotations from vendor 1, 2, 3, all the vendors they have given the quotation. So once you receive the quotation from the different vendors, so what I need to do? I need to maintain the quotations in ME47 transition code. In ME47 transition code, I need to maintain the quotations here. Okay, now simply go to ME47 transition code here. ME47 transition code, maintain the quotation. 6 all zeros 20. 6 all zeros 20. Okay, so 6 all zeros 20. Enter the material, quantity. Okay, the price. But actually here, let me explain in detail. So here vendor to vendor is different. Some vendors they will say 100 quantity is not possible. I will dispatch only some 80 pieces. Example I am saying. So some vendor will say it is possible 90 pieces. Some vendor will say some 100 pieces. So vendor to vendors, okay. And also delivery date 15th is not possible. So 20th October I can able to dispatch it. So quantity, delivery date, price, what are the price they are offering, and how much discount they are giving. So all the details, okay, what are the details we'll receive from the vendor, all the details I need to present in my real system. But training system, why should I enter all these details? I'll mention only one price here. Okay, the first vendor is ready with 100 rupees here. Okay, in real time, as per the your vendor, whatever the details is given the vendor in that particular hard copy or soft copy, we need to edit here. So in training system, I'm going to mention only price. At any point of time, you can reject the quotation also. Reject indicator. Why you are rejecting the quotation? Maybe price reason or quality reason. So you can enter the comments also. But as of now, in my training system, so okay, so I'm going to mention only price here. So the first vendor is ready with 100 euros here. Okay, simply you need to click on save. But you can make a note in SAP. RFQ and quotation will be the same number range. Your quotation number and RFQ will be the same number range. Quotation and RFQ will be the same number range. Okay, so this is quotation and RFQ will be the same number range. Okay, now this is the way. So in real time, which vendor given first year? Next quotation 6 all zeros 21, the 5210 vendor. Suppose this vendor is ready with some, okay, so 80 euros here for one piece here. Maintain the quotation, no problem. 80 euros for one piece here. The same way, last vendor today we create, so 6 all zeros to here. This is the, so your in SAP your quotation and RFQ will be the same number range. Okay, so what are the quotations we are getting from different vendors? So we need to maintain the data. So now this vendor is ready with some 120 euros example. Okay, so once you will maintain the quotations, so quotations for the RFQ is maintained here. Quotations for the RFQ we maintain here. So once you will maintain the quotations, okay. So now what I need to do? So here next step, once I receive the final step here, I need to compare the quotations as per the standard SAP. So next to fourth step, what I need to compare the quotations in ME49. But what we discussed here, the quotation comparison will be, okay, the user will take, so time to time here. So sometimes, most of the time price, but sometimes apart from the price, sometimes delivery date, quantity. So these are different parameters will be there. So however, I need to compare the quotation. Sometimes it is a general phenomenon. So you require the material in emergency. You may go with some more than some price, also more market price. Okay. So this is a general phenomenon. So here, what I am doing, so I am going to compare the quotations. Okay. Copy the quotation number here. So 6 all zeros to do. And here you can go to any 49 transaction code, compare the quotation. So from quotation to quotation. So from quotation and to quotation 6 all 022. So here ME49, the system it said it is showing price comparison list, means which vendor is giving the least price, the best quotation. Enter the from quotation to quotation. So if you click on execute here, now please observe. So which is the best quotation? 5210. So why 5210? Because this vendor is charging only 80 euros for one piece here. The second vendor is actually 100 euros here. The third vendor is 120 euros here. So which is the best quotation here? 80 euros. So this is the best quotation, 6 all zeros to 1 as per the price here. But suppose now if user wants to, can able to go with this vendor also here. But system is showing the vendor ranking, quotation ranking 1 here. This vendor here. Ranking 1, ranking 2, ranking 3. So this is already we discussed here. Okay, so with this actually we completed so we observed price comparison list also. Now with reference to this quotation, so I need to create a purchase order. However, it is not possible today. So tomorrow I will create a purchase order with reference to PO. Once I will enter the quotation details, how the system is capturing all the quotation details to the PO, and I will perform the goods receipt and I will perform the invoice receipt. After performing the goods receipt, so what are the changes is observed also, you can see in the system here. So this is about today's session here. Okay, Lakshmi and Yamuna SSV, please practice up to this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you all for participation.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.